There are many roads around the world that are famous for delivering sheer beauty for the driver. And New Zealand has to have some of the absolute best. And the Queenstown to Glenorchy Road has to be one of, if not the very best you'll experience on the South Island. Taking only 45 minutes, I would recommend allowing yourself 1 to 2 hours, as I can guarantee you'll be stopping at every vantage point to take hundreds of holiday snaps. This is just such beautiful countryside. And that drive, we've got Queenstown that way, Glenorchy that way. This is considered to be one of the very best drives in the world.
Easy to see why. When we get to the bottom of this drive, I found this thing called a Nomad safari. It's a four-wheel drive safari. Are you interested?
No.
Fine.
Look at this environment. Relax, zen out.
No, it's fine because I have found a great southern man to take me.
He's all yours.
My guide, Jonty, from Nomad Safaris, is what Kiwis like to call a great southern man. Tough as nails, with a heart of gold, a real affinity with this land, and a natural-born storyteller, gold. And actually, that's where his first story starts. So there's some crazy stories of life in the early gold rush?
Yes, dynamite then wasn't as stable as it is now, especially in the cold. The miners actually used to take the dynamite to bed with them to keep it warm. And there is one story of a miner who clearly wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed, who decided to warm his dynamite up one day by putting it on a shovel blade and heating it up over the fire.
Oh, really?
So now most of him is buried in the Skipper's Cemetery.
That's classic. The roads on a Nomad safari can be pretty challenging. Most of them are closed to hire cars, and a four-wheel drive is a must for many of these tracks. I'm glad Trevor isn't driving. Actually, I'm glad I'm not driving either. The views and commentary are well worth the effort, though. The tour covers about 100 k's in around 4 hours. And along the way, there are plenty of stops and more stories to tell about this scenery, which is featured in some of the biggest movies of all time.
In fact, this little stretch of the river we're driving over right now was used in Lord of the Rings. There's a scene where Arwen, after Frodo's been stabbed, she stops on one side of the river and the Black Riders are on the other, and she does her elvish thing and calls up the river, which washes them away. But where they're riding in the river is actually right on the river that we're on now. It's amazing, really, how many people come here just because of Lord of the Rings. And then you get another really high percentage that come because of the scenery they've seen in the movies, and that's triggered them to come here. And you get a lot of people, you know, it's on their bucket list, basically, to come to New Zealand and see some Lord of the Rings sites.
By the end of this trip, Jonty feels like an old friend, and Queenstown becomes more than just a world-famous outdoor adventure town.